Good morning and happy Monday. I hope that your day is going well, that your week is starting off well. I wanted to come to you with a brief word about recognizing when an assignment has shifted. There are times in our life when God is going to call us to a new and different assignment, when He is going to call for us to shift, when we will no longer be able to operate where we have been operating and with whom we have primarily been associating. It's very important that when this time comes that we hear God's call and his directive and that we shift, because the shift is necessary for us to go not only into our next season but into our next level. So when I think about Genesis 13, this passage talks about, if you start at the first verse, talks about how Abraham, who was at that time still Abram, and his nephew Lot, they were dwelling together. And Abram had come into many possessions. He had silver and gold. He had livestock. So did Lot. And what happened is that their herdsmen started to get into it because they were occupying the same land and there just wasn't enough space for all of them, for their animals to graze and for them to be comfortable in that same parcel section of land. And so there came a point when Abram tells him that he doesn't want to have this contention between them. He doesn't want them to be quarreling because they're close relatives. Lot is his nephew. And so he tells him that what direction Lot picks, he'll pick the opposite so that they can go their own way, have the space that's needed, and not have this continued bickering and quarreling going on. And so Lot chooses to go east to Jordan. He's in the Jordan area. And Abram chooses Canaan. And so they go their own ways, but it was necessary. It was a necessary parting because they no longer could dwell together. And so there are times in our lives when God will separate us from a place, from people, from an experience that we have been operating in, because he has something new for us and we can no longer reside where we have been. It's critical that we recognize when he is shifting us and not resist the shift. Don't resist the shift. When God is shifting you, telling you, I have a new assignment, a new level, I am changing what you have become accustomed to, your status quo, what has become, very familiar, that you latch onto God's hand and follow his directive because he has bigger for you. And if you are unwilling to shift, then what can happen is you can not only become stuck and going in circles, but you're not getting God's best. So I hope that this word is encouraging. If you have heard God telling you to shift, if you've heard God telling you that you have a new assignment, even though it may be uncomfortable, though it may be different, that you have to shift from what has become familiar and customary, there may be something different that God has for you. And if he does, trust in him. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not into your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will direct your paths. So when God says that your circle has to shift, when he says that the company you keep has to shift, that the company you may work for may have to shift, when the area has to shift, trust God. Trust God, because whatever God has for you, wherever he is directing you to, just know that he's not going to leave you or forsake you, and that his plans for you, like Jeremiah, are for good and not evil, to give you a future and a hope. That is for his children. God bless you. I hope that this message will be inspiring to you, and I'll talk to you soon.